203 moun yo ka kon de ki so pali.
D'accord. 203K. All right. We'll check it out. All right. Okay. I'm on now. Be good for now. All right. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. 203K FHA rehab loan is the product, and the title is Build Generation Wealth. All right then. Uh-huh. Anyway,
Ou parey?
of course. All right, so let's pray, man, and then let's get this thing started because today gonna be something else today. And I hope you are ready.
I am ready.
Okay.
I'm always ready.
All right, like you said, brother, like you said. All right, let's pray together, man. Heavenly Father, we thank you for everything you have done for us. Thank you for the time we're about to spend together. And we ask you to take place and the time, the hours we're going to spend to talk about your wealth, which is not yours, but you are the owner. We just only some people who do some stuff for you, but we ask you, God, to give us the knowledge. Our guest speaker today, as usual, always ready. Like you always said, he was born ready. But we know, God, you always fill them with your spirit and make your spirit fill them again today. And whoever, wherever watching this show may find something interesting and start calling about counseling, about um, advices, how to buy and how to rent or how to build generation wealth. And in Jesus' name we do pray. Amen. All right, brother. So I hope everything is good. How are you, man?
How are you?
I'm all right. So we're about to get started right now. So I hope wherever you guys are ready to see and to talk with us today. And we are open for your questions. And as we always start with a little bit spice, and I'm about to start with it right now. All right. The title is Build Generation Wealth as a first time home buyer using the FHA 203K loan. That's the title we're going to speak about tonight. Welcome to the Black Excellence Talk Show, where we talk faith, finances, culture, and the future of our community. Today, we are not just talking about buying a house. We are talking about building legacy, building wealth, and breaking cycles. So many of us have been told that owning a home is out of reach, ready too low, income not enough. The house needs too many repairs, or the down payment is just too high. But family, what if I told you there was a way to not only buy a home, but also renovate it, increase its value, and pass real equity to your children? That's exactly what the FHA 203K rehab loan was made for. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. This isn't just a mortgage, it's a wealth building tools. It's allow first time home buyers to purchase a fixer upper and hold the cost of the repairs and upgrade into one single loan. With a loan down payment as little at 3.5%. I don't know if I'm right still. I'm still talking. Think about it. Instead of waiting to be perfectly ready, you can take that property nobody wanted, rebuild it, add value to it, and live in it. And one day, pass it down or rent it out. That's not just buying a house, that's creating generational wealth. Our parents and grandparents didn't always have access to that opportunities like this, but today we do. So the question is, are we going to stay renters forever, or are we ready to become homeowners? Owners, owners of land, owners of real estate, owners of our future. In this episode, we are going to break it all down. First of all, what exactly is a FHA 203K loan? Who qualifies? How can you use it to buy, renovate, and build equity instantly? And most importantly, how do we make sure our children inherit assets, not debt, deeds, not regret? Because this is just about a brick. This is not just about brick and mortar. This is about legacy. This is about saying the cycle end with me and wealth begin with us. So stay tuned. This is might be the most important financial conversation you will have in your life. Like we already know, we got the man, the loan commander, the Superman, Mr. Kebby. What up, boy? Welcome to the Black Excellence Show, man. I'm glad and happy to have you today, and I hope everything gonna be spicy like we already started. What's up?
Amen. Thank you for having me once again. Thank you, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be on Black Excellence Talk Show, where we mix finances and faith, and we heavily emphasize on community. It's always a pleasure to be here. And today I'm looking forward to dropping some gems and really looking to helping people break into this thing and start building generational wealth.
It's all right, brother. It's all right, all right. Thank you so much, and like you already know, I really appreciate anytime you come around. And today, like I already told you, so it's gonna be like not easy for you today. Like you used to say, you were born ready. So
That's
for
right.
all the audience we got today, we're just about to see that if it's true or not. So, like you already know, boy, the show is divided by segment. So you just come to start with the first one. And then at the end, we're gonna talk about like what segment we have been talking. And then for people, make sure if they want to ask a question, where they can ask this question. All right. So my first question for you today, man, what does building generational wealth truly mean for first-time home buyer in our community?
Well, that's a great question. Do you hear that? 1 second. I think that's my computer.
Mm-hmm. No problem. Take your time, man. So take your time.
All right, I'm good. I was just putting on do not disturb. So
Okay.
generational wealth for our community. So it means something you can pass down to the next generation. And it's not just money, it's not cash. Wealth is not just defined by having cash, some money in your bank account. It's defined by assets you can own and that can generate income or preserve the wealth, the money in that family, and able to pass it down to the next generation.
All right. So that's mean if I buy something and then I can pass it down to somebody else. So not breaking it, but save it, conserve it, and pass it to the next generation, right?
And something that they will be able to use and generate something good out of it. So there are some things you can leave for somebody that won't do anything to them, but it's
Okay.
just an asset that will be able to produce something in the future for that generation.
Right, no problem. Thank you, man, for the answer. But my next question goes like that. Why is home ownership often called the foundation of wealth in America?
That's a very good question. I was analyzing a couple years back different vehicles that allow you to create wealth. We have crypto, we have investments in the stock market, you have business, obviously, that will allow you to build wealth. So when you compare all these vehicles to real estate is the one that has been the most consistent and that has allowed the most people to multiply and build wealth over time. And also, it allows for tax advantages at the same time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. When you said tax advantages, what does that mean?
Well, when you have real estate, let's say you start buying investment properties and you still working a job. Let's say Black Excellence is working as an IT guy and he's making like $200,000-300,000 a year, but he also has investment property. So if you do it the right way, there's a way you can take money from your business, from the income from that business, and negate it against the losses or depreciation you have on the real estate side to bring your tax liability down, oftentimes to zero, which is what the rich people do. They have money on this business, but they claim losses on the real estate side, and then just to reduce their taxes.
Wow. Which is I didn't know.
Well,
All right.
that's why real estate is one of the great vehicles, because there's other business you can do that, but the government is actually giving you incentives to do that. Because when you have an investment property, you go and buy a 17 unit, 22 unit apartment building. This is 22 units. The government doesn't have to build because the government wants housing for its people. And when you invest that, they say, hey, you don't have to do that. I did it. So they give you a tax break, because anytime you invest into something the government wants, you get tax benefit. Real estate is not the only thing. Real estate just happens to be the one of the most reliable vehicles to do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so probably we might talk after that, man, because there is some stuff I need to do for the year. Yeah, so right now, I asked a question before that, and then I wanted, before I ask my third question, but I want to just put it on my third. The first question I asked when I was introduced to you, it was like, what is really mean the FHA 203K loan? What is that?
All right, so we have the FHA loan, which is the regular FHA loan people be doing when they say, hey, I'm doing FHA, I'm doing a conventional. And one of the things about the FHA loan is that it has like a more flexible guideline. A lot of people with lower credit score who may carry more debt to buy a house. And then you have the 203K loan, which is just a special division or special product from the FHA, but that allow people to take a property who will not be regularly financed. So if you just wanted to do a regular loan and then the house roof is bad, or we have the kitchen is not in good condition, then the property wouldn't be fit for regular financing, well, the FHA 203K loan allows you to purchase that property in the bad condition, give you the money to do the repairs, and then it will just be one single loan when you're done. So that's the difference between that. The 203K loan is essentially your rehab loan, just like you see the investors will be doing fix and flip. So this is essentially, you can take the property, do the repairs, and then keep it as your primary residence when you're done.
Okay, thank you. So now the question, you answered the question, but the third one is like, how does it differ from the regular one, the regular FHA?
So I would say the regular FHA doesn't allow you to do repairs. It won't allow you to take a property that's not in living condition. So if you have like termites, you have mold, you have the kitchen that's like destroyed, you have the roof that's leaking, you can't finance that with a regular FHA loan, but the 203K will do it.
Oh, wow. All right, so now
I want to clarify that 203K is not only for repairs.
Because that's what I found when I was doing my research. That's what I found. They say it's like you repair, you renovate, and everything.
It's not just that. They allow you to add bedroom. You can add an extra bedroom. If your house is a 2-1, you can turn it into a 3-2.
Okay.
You can convert a single family home into a duplex, triplex, fourplex. You can add a garage. And we're going to get into the list of things you can and can't do later, but it's not just for repairs. And it's definitely not only for people who are just buying. If you already have a home and you want to upgrade the home, you can still do a 203K loan.
All right. Yep. But I got another question, but I hold him on it. But I'm just gonna ask a new question.
I just want to say that I enjoy making it difficult for.
Okay. All right. I got you. All right, I got you. Yeah. So the next question is like, bro, So who's qualifies as a first-time home buyer under the FHA guideline?
Okay, so first-time homebuyer will sometimes the agencies will differ a little bit on their definition of a first-time homebuyer, but generally speaking, it's somebody who has not had ownership of a property in the past 3 years. So their name has not been on title or deed on the property for the past 2 years. It's not somebody who never bought a house before. So if you bought a house in 2018 and you sold it in 2020, and ever since then you never bought a home, and your name is not on title anywhere, if you were to buy a house today, you will qualify as a first-time home buyer.
Well, that's good. All right then. So how can this loan help someone turn a fixer hopper into a dream home?
It's very interesting. One very important factor that is there's something called, what's the word for it? Over rehabilitation, I would say. Over improvement is the word. So sometimes you have to look at, well, what are the other homes in this area look like? And when I go and take this home to fix it up, what my future value is going to be? Because a big thing about this product is like, what is going to be the after renovation value? So you can, maybe you're gonna have a consultant, there's gonna be engineers, there's gonna be architects that can help you design the home, and then you can put your 2 cents in and like, you know what, I want to do this part, I want to get the kitchen done, I want to get the bathroom done, I want to get a garage and things like that. And this allows you more flexibility as opposed to just going and find a property that best fit your need. Like, I'm just gonna compromise it. It doesn't have a garage, but it has a big closet. It has this, but doesn't have that. But instead, you can kind of like tailor this home to be, what you like. So it's maybe the closest thing to like a new construction from the ground up that we have.
Okay, so that's when I can renovate. Like you just said earlier, I can just put or add a new room to my house just to transform that house in my dream home.
Yes and no, but I'm sure you have a question about that somewhere down the line.
All right, all right. So the question come next, man. So why I can't why I can't and why I cannot?
What you can and cannot do with this product?
Yeah, why I can do it and why I cannot do it, because you answered the question
What
yes or
did I
no.
say?
I can do
What
it
did
and
I
I
tell
cannot
you
do it.
guys? I told
All
you.
right. Yeah, you know how it works. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
So
All right. So
the 202K has two versions to it. It has a limited version, which goes all the way up to $75,000. So that's the limit. The maximum renovation is $75,000, but it comes with less paperwork. So it's kind of like faster. And then there's certain things you can't do. There's limits on the renovation and things like that. Like the limited version. Are you still with me? Kind of
yeah,
frozen.
I'm right here. I'm right here. You see me, right?
It's frozen, but I can hear you. So the limited version, for example, they won't allow you to do addition. You cannot add a bedroom. You cannot really do major renovations or structural stuff with the limited version. Now, the standard version, it will go from $75,000 up to the loan limit of that area. What that means, when you Google FHA loans in which county, they will tell you what the amount the FHA loan can go up to. So for Dade County, a single family home will be 654,000, and a fourplex will be about 1.2 million or so. So they will allow you to go all the way to the limit for that renovation.
All right, so I don't know what's going on, but if you can hear me, I can always keep proceeding.
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, no problem. So the next question gonna be, the next question gonna be like, what are the biggest misconception people have about FHA 203K loan?
So, there's not a lot of misconception about that because there's not a lot of people who actually know about that product. But there's more, I would say, generally about FHA loan. People think FHA loan is for people who don't have money or people who have bad credit. That's not really the case. FHA loan will be a great asset to you depending on what you're trying to get done.
Okay. All right, that's good. All right then, so let's keep moving. Okay, so why is this loan particularly valuable for young professionals and working class families? Why is that?
Well, here's the best thing about this product. All the homes, let's say all the homes in Coral Springs, you're trying to live there. All the homes that are ready to go, they are like $500,000, but you only qualify for 400, so you can't really find something that that's moving ready that you like. But there's that one house that's been abandoned. There's that one house that doesn't look too good. They are selling it for 300,000. Problem is, you wouldn't be able to buy it with a regular loan because it needs work. So what would be very valuable about that? Let's say you only need about $60,000 in renovation cost. And you qualify for, let's say, 400,000, and you go and buy this property for 300,000. They'll give you that $100,000 to repair the property. And I guarantee you the $100,000 in renovation could make the property similar to the other ones that's already costing $500,000. This is what you're gonna get out of that. Number one, your house only costed you 400,000. It cost you $100,000 less, and it's probably gonna be in better condition than the other homes that are selling for 500. And by extension, that means after repair value, your property is gonna be worth probably about $500,000, just like the other homes. And the second thing you're gonna have over the other people is that you have access to instant equity. Because if the home is worth $500,000 now, but you only spend 380, that means you have like $120,000 equity. The other people won't have that because they're gonna owe 96 or 97% of that value. So they don't have equity, but you have equity because you started with the 203K, you spent $60,000 in renovation, and now your home is worth just as much as the other people, and you have instant equity, which you can take out about 8 to 9 months later. You can withdraw that money if you want, up to maybe 80% of the value.
Okay. So which is this information, not all people knows it because it's like priceless, man.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, I
priceless.
wish more people knew about this product. It's an amazing tool for first-time home buyer or people who are just trying to build up.
Because even me, if I knew that before, there was some stuff I would never like miss. I don't know if I'm still qualified for it because it's been like 2 or 3 years I think so I bought my house. So do you think I can still apply for it?
It depends on what kind of mortgage you have and where you're moving to.
Okay. All right. So when you said what kind of mortgage, what do you mean by?
If you already have a FHA loan, it will be a little bit difficult for you to get another FHA loan, but there are things you can do as far as like what kind of house you're getting and how far will it be from the home you live in right now.
No. Okay, so that's mean I should have like instead of renovate my own, I probably have to buy another one.
You could renovate that's what you mean, the
Yeah,
refinance.
that's what I mean. Like if
Oh
I
yeah,
can
as long
if I
as
can
you
get
make the
qualified for
money.
it to renovate my own house. Like if I got a basement by example, and I already got the FHA loan before I bought my house. So I use it for buying the house. And now I want to renovate. Do you think I can be qualified for the FHA
Yeah,
203K?
they allow you to convert an existing mortgage to a 203K mortgage. Yes.
Okay, that's good. In New York, right?
New York is its own beast. I don't know anything about. I told you, you live in the country of your own, man.
All right, all right, all right, man. So the next question is about we just finished the first segment. Like I already tell you guys. So we do stuff by segment, but the first segment was just an introduction. Was introduce the subject, the topic we're about to talk. Remember the topic. It's nothing else than what does building generation wealth truly mean for the first no, that's not that, sorry about that. It was only build generational wealth as a first time home buyer featuring the 203K FHA loan product. So that's the main topic today. So we just finished with the opening segment. Now we go into the next segment. We're going to talk about more about money right now. So get ready and sit like very neat and clear. Adjust your seat, and then we're gonna talk about more stuff than that. Now, brother, Mr. Loan Commander, my next question is like, how does home ownership shift the financial stability of a family across generations?
Very good question.
They're always good. Don't worry about it. They're
Yeah,
always
I
good.
know. You're always trying to catch me off guard, but I'm ready.
Of course, that's my job. That's my job.
So the number one factor in all this, man, I would say it's the equity play of it. Because equity, I like to explain it to people as like a savings account, a piggy bank, that every payment you make towards your mortgage is gonna give you access to that later in the future. And it's gonna be more valuable because you're gonna have like appreciation and all that and all that good stuff. So there's that. And because later on you can withdraw that money, think about the possibilities about maybe taking money out for college to pay for your kids' college, taking money out to buy another property, taking money out to open a business and all these things. So the reason they shift the dynamics is because when you're looking at it now, there's a concentration of a group that owns real estate now. And when you're paying rent, all of the money from this community that's renting is going towards that other community that actually owns the home. So there's already a wealth transfer happening. So when we own our own real estate, that money just goes back to our community.
Okay. So if there was a problem right now with what you just said. So when you said that money we just buy a house, right? It comes back to our community. So what is it now? Well, for those people who grow, in some communities, and when they get money, they just leave the community and go somewhere else and build a house or buy a house.
Can you repeat that last part?
All right. So what is it now? So when you said every how or every home or every house we buy, right? The money goes back to our community. So the question is, how is it for these people who growing up in some communities, and when they make the money and they left the community and go somewhere else to buy another house, how come the same money can go back to our own community?
So here's the thing. People don't reinvest in their community because they are not taught the value of communities. But other people, when they start making money, they get more money. What they do, they invest even more. They buy an entire village. They build an entire city for their own people. We have like Aventura in Florida. It's owned by Jewish folks, and then they reinvest. They build a whole city, they occupy it, and then bring their people from other places to here. I know there are people once they make a little money, they go to a different community to invest it in. But what I was trying to say is, let's say the concentration of homes that are owned in Aventura, they are owned by Jewish people. And then these same Jewish people, they're gonna expand. They're gonna go to Miami Gardens, they're gonna buy a bunch of property and rent it to people. So when rent is being paid every month by all the Haitians that live in Miami Garden, that money goes towards the Jewish community.
Oh,
That's what I'm
okay.
trying to say. So now, if you and I we invest and buy a bunch of homes and develop them, so that money from the Haitian community it comes back because we are Haitian. We might care about our community where we want a nicer park, where we want a better clinic, where we want better school. We can reinvest that as opposed to another community who doesn't care about us.
Oh well. Unfortunately, we didn't taught that though. So nobody teach us that.
Well, now they
Unfortunately.
know. I just said it.
All right. Now, can owning property actually close the wealth gap in Black and minority communities?
No, not only properties, because that's not the only thing that matters, right? Having the
Mhm.
properties is one thing, but knowing how to manage them is another thing. Knowing how to play the tax game. I call it a game because that's really what it is. It's whoever can win. And then we have to also own businesses. How many grocery stores do we own? How much? That's another way how our money goes too. Then when there's grocery stores, well, it goes to another community. And I see that in Miami a lot. They will put a grocery store with Haitian flag on there, but there's no Haitian people that work on there, and the owner is not Haitian. So our money just keep going elsewhere and never back into our own pocket. It's not reinvested.
Mm. Oh, unfortunately, we don't do that, man. Mm. Anyway, how can we teach our children? Because we are talking about like how to invest in our own community. We're talking about how to get our own people get having jobs and everything we own now. So how can we teach our children to view property not just as a home, but as an asset?
First of all, we gotta view it right. Like you just said, we don't even see it properly. How are we gonna teach the children?
But that's the reason you teach us right now.
So my own kids, I take them to showings, I take them to consultations, I take them to community events just so they can see and get involved. Because if you're not connected or don't love the community, when you grow up, you're not gonna care about any of that. So obviously, it will come with transferring what I know to them. And then when I'm working, my daughter's already asking me questions about what I'm doing, and I'm answering. It starts with something as simple as that. It's about teaching and transferring values. Another good thing about building generational wealth is not just about leaving money. It's about leaving
Mhm.
values, the work ethic that brought you here, and then you showing them not only what it means to truly be Haitian, but a lot of people say they are proud to be Haitian, but they are not doing the right thing it takes to show our true values. We forsake a lot of our own tradition just to adopt other people's culture. I think that's a mistake. And this is one of the great things. We have to be proud to be Haitian. And then also teaching our kids the same thing. You have Haitian kids, they don't eat any Haitian food. They don't know anything about Haiti.
Not at all. It's not their business. So, yep. Now, so as you said, you brought your kids to do this, to do that. That which is a good thing. What are some practical steps to pass a home equity or property value to the next generation?
So that's a good question.
I
Like
told you, man,
it's
everything
always
is
good
good.
question. I don't
That's
know how
that's
to
me.
stop this thing,
That's me
man.
writing them. Everything is good.
Yeah, hold on, man. I don't know how to stop this thing. My thing is on do not disturb. Messages are still coming through.
Go to war, man. Go ahead, do your thing.
Okay. The
Mhm.
question is, what's the best way to transfer ownership to your
Like a
kids?
Yeah, no. To a property value to the next generation.
Interesting. So there's gonna be asset protection attorneys. So you have to get with like CPAs and whoever is really qualified to answer that, but I'll give you an answer. If
All
you
right.
there's people that make mistake and then just like, okay, I'm buying a house, I want to put my kid's name on the house. Well, now you messing up their first time home buyer status, first of all. And secondly, it doesn't protect them from taxes. Now, one of the good ways to pass down a property to your kid, it's not even to put them in your will, because when you put their name on the will, when you die, they inherit the property. It can still go to probate, and then there will be public record, and there's gonna be a whole lot of issue with that. One of the best ways that I found that you can do that is to put the property in a trust, and then you are the trustee, meaning you control the asset, you make the decision, and then you put your kids as a beneficiary. So when you do pass away, they inherit the property, but they also get some tax benefits from owning that property as opposed to paying capital gains if they were to sell. It will protect them to how much capital gain taxes they would have to pay. So it's really when you own assets, when you have properties, you need to get a good CPA, you need to get lawyers to already fix the properties in a way to reduce these liabilities for your kids. Because if you don't do it right, they're gonna get taxed so much. And if it goes to probate, they're gonna lose a lot of the wealth you're trying to transfer to them.
All righty. That's cool. But I got a person. I got someone in my chat who said I'm proud to be Asian, and all right. So we don't have no, like I said, we don't have no grudge about Asian people. But the only thing I want to add is like we don't do our job. Yeah, proud to be Asian is one, but the second thing is like teach people or our kids how Asian can own something. And that's come up with another question I just got pop up in my mind now. So why a lot of Haitian? What do you think? That's your I want you to think about that. And what do you think a lot of Haitian people when we come to America as a country, and we always have people to tell us, do not ever and ever buy a house in here because you don't own the house. Because that's what we always found people tell us. Do not buy nothing here. Just go back home and buy something home. And then one day they will ask you for the house, or even you finish paying the 30 years, you're not own the house. What do you think about that?
I think it's a misconception. There's a part of truth to what they're saying. because of property taxes is why they say you don't truly own the land, because even if you own something and you have to pay property taxes, even if it's paid off, you don't have a mortgage on it, you still have to pay property taxes. And if you don't, they can foreclose on you. So that's probably the reason they are saying it. But just think about that. You live here, you paying rent here. You definitely have less control than if you own your home. But you want to own a property in a foreign country back home. Who's living in it? Is that property making you money? Well, maybe it is, but you are here and your landlord can decide to kick you out anytime they want. So there's always pros and cons to the system, and that's definitely way more advantageous to owning a home here than just being renting. For one example, every rent payment you make is down the drain. You're never gonna see it back. As opposed to if you pay your mortgage, there's a portion of that that goes towards your future you can access. When what's the problem? You have property taxes. If you pay your taxes, nobody is gonna take the property from you.
Oh, probably we have to make a school for that because a lot of people might thinking like people are crazy when we buy a house here. But it's
Well,
like
must be crazy because all the billionaires own houses here. They must be out of their mind too.
nah, probably. All right, so we have to make a school for that and teach them how to do so and how to change this misconception. All right. Now, how do you protect, right, that asset once you build it? Because you just said about like it's not okay. It's not really. It's not like you didn't say it's not okay, but it's better. Let me use that word. It's better like you buy a house where you live instead of buying a house where you're not living yet. So the thing is, how do you protect that asset you just bought? All right, once you've built it. Example: will, trust, or life insurance.
Good.
Mhm.
So you can protect the asset many different ways. Number one, you need to have proper insurance in place because there's natural disasters that can come. You have to get like, if there's a fire, that the house can be rebuilt. If somebody breaks into it, hurricane damage and all these good stuff, well, not good stuff, all these disasters, then you can have like an insurance policy that can rebuild the house. Because if you have a mortgage and you don't have that and the house catches on fire, now, well, you don't have a place to live and you owe the bank hundreds of thousands of dollars and you don't have an insurance that's going to replace the house for you. Now you are in big trouble. That is not what I would call protecting the asset. Then you can have mortgage insurance protection, which is like you can buy a separate policy for your mortgage to the same amount. Let's say you owe the bank 300,000. You can buy a mortgage insurance policy, which is separate from your loan, right? It's like to a private company, and you buy a policy for 400,000. So if you were to die, if you were to get like into a serious accident or get sick and can't make the payment, then they will step up and pay the bank what you owe. So that way, that's another way you can protect your loved ones so they don't end up with this mortgage debt and all these issues that can come with that. And
All
also
right.
get good
Mhm.
lawyers, man. Get good lawyers. Mm.
All right. So your company doesn't have none?
Huh?
Your company doesn't have none?
No, we don't have lawyers.
Oh, okay. All right then. So what does community, okay, what role does community education play in empowering more people to buy homes?
Number one reason I became who I am is because I just realized there are so many opportunities out there and people don't know about them. And then another thing is people feel like, oh, the government wants to keep me down, blah, 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 blah. But the truth is the resources are available. And if you wanted to take advantage of them, you will not see some kind of man dress up in black say, oh, no, you can't do this. Like right now, I'm doing the 203K rehab loan for a client, not because she couldn't afford the other ones, but the exact home she wanted, it was 2,000 square feet. Everything was good with the house, except for the fact that the roof is 25 years old and it's done. And then the flooring is a little bit old. But for her goals in the future, what she wants to do, this is the perfect property as opposed to the other one. Well, we do a 203K. She wouldn't know that if I didn't explain there's this kind of loan you can do because if she thought I would have to just try to buy it and then fix the property out of pocket later on. So just the resources that are available, people need to be able to teach them. This is what you can do. This is the money that's available. Depending on the city you live, 8 times out of 10, there's gonna be money available for you to do something.
Okay. So there was a question in the chat. I wanna ask you. The person said, how soon after purchasing, a property can you put in interest?
That's a very good question. Now, it depends on the state. It depends on the state laws because it can get complicated depending. But a lot of times when the properties are free and clear, it's a lot easier. It will depend if it's your primary residence or not. If it's your primary residence, it might be a little bit more complicated to do that depending on the loan product. But if it's an investment property, the moment you buying it, you can put it under a trust.
Okay. All right.
I would recommend checking with a lawyer in that specific county that you live in to see if you can actually transfer that.
Okay. The
And
person
I'll tell
said,
you the reason, right? Because sometimes when you are transferring the property from let's say Black Excellence to Black Excellence LLC or trust, whatever, they can consider that as a sale. And if you are selling, there's a clause in the mortgage that's called due on sale. The moment you transfer in the ownership, the bank is gonna say, hey, you owe us 400,000, we want to get paid right away. So that's why it's not something you just do like that, because some loans they will say, hey, the moment you are changing name, you are transferring anything, we want to get paid. We want you to pay us the whole thing. But that's not what you were trying to do. So that's why you will want to look into it to see if it's something that's not going to affect you.
okay. All right. So we have to be careful.
Not really careful. You just have to know your options. You know what type of mortgage you have, and you say, hey, you call an attorney, a real estate attorney. You tell them, I want to transfer my property into a deed. This is the type of mortgage I have. What are my options?
So another question, how can I look up for my type of mortgage? Because people have been paying mortgage and in their minds, like, I pay a mortgage, I have a house, I pay my mortgage, but what type of mortgage I can should I know I have, or how I can look up to it?
That's a question that people have a lot, and it's not really public record. A lot of times you can go online and it doesn't say what type of mortgage you have. And even when you have like the mortgage statement that comes in, not every time it says the type of mortgage you have. So simple, you just call the mortgage company and ask them, they'll tell you.
Okay.
Or
So
if you have the papers when you bought the house, like on the disclosure, it says which kind of loan it is.
okay. All right then. So how many type of mortgage do we have in this country?
Say that again.
How many type of mortgage do we have in this country?
So many, too many to count. That's
So
a whole lot.
give us few of them though.
Or you have a type of loan product or mortgage.
But I think so. That's the same thing, because it's like
So a mortgage is simply a promise to repay. That's what
okay,
mortgage means, pledge. I
okay,
have a mortgage. It means like, yo, I promise to pay this back. This is a simple terms what it means, a promise to repay. Now you have the loan types. It's too many to count. You have FHA, VA, USDA, conventional. You have
okay,
non-current types. You have, all of these fix and flip private money. There's like so many different loan products.
okay. So that's mean when I call my mortgage company, they're gonna tell me what type of loan I got.
Yeah, they will tell you exactly which one you have.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, let's move on, man. So the last question about the segment calling generational wealth and community impact. The last question gonna be, how does investing in a rehab property contribute to neighborhood revitalization? Honest, I said we back on that one. Revitalize it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. How does it contribute, the 203K?
Yeah. So how does it come? Yeah.
So it's not just the 203K, it's just rehab in general. So you will see one area that looks raggedy, and then somebody comes and flip one property, and then somebody else flip another. And then now investors are looking like, they say, you know what, this area is gonna start developing. And then sometimes it happens when they are changing the demographics. They want just different class of citizens to move into this area. So once that happens, then more investors come in and start flipping properties. So let's say 5 of us, we decide we're gonna live on 56th Street, and then I pick this property, I do a 203K. And then you pick the property next to it. And many people do that. This is gonna bring the value of the homes in the area higher. Even the homes that are not renovated, because your home, let's say you renovated it and it's sold for 500,000. All the other properties in that area are gonna have a little bit of an increase in their value because of these homes that are being renovated. And this is what also make the area attractive to investors to come and invest, by seeing that, okay, now we see these houses are looking better, different category of people are moving in, people that are making, like, as opposed to the people that live there that were making like 40,000 or who were in welfare, not paying rent or blah, blah, blah. Now we have people that are making 70, $80,000 a year that move into this area. So those are the factors that we're looking at. We look at this area, what kind of people live in it? Are they married? Did they go to school? What kind of degree they have? What kind of jobs they do, to determine the potential growth.
Okay. All right then. So that was the last question about, like I said, the segment called generational wealth and community impact. So now we move to another segment, guys. It's understanding the 203K FHA rehab loan, because we've been talk a lot about how it is for, how is it for, so how you can get qualified and who can get qualified for it. So now let's deep into it to talk about the understanding of it. The question goes like, can you walk us through what the 203K process looks like from application to renovation?
So the application is like any regular FHA loan. We need your credit, the income, assets, meaning the money to buy the house, and your debt to income. So just like the standard approval. Now, the only difference is you will find a property that needs, some renovation, and you buy it at a certain price as opposed to how much you qualify. So if you qualify for 400,000, and then you want to find a property less than that, right? 350, 60 to 70, and then determine how much work it needs, and then you cannot exceed what you qualify for in the beginning. So when we are doing your loan, the loan will not be based on the purchase price that you are buying this house for 300,000. It's gonna be based on how much it will be after renovation. So if in total you're buying it for 350,000 and you're spending 50,000, so that give you 400,000, we will do the loan for 400,000. So that's one of the differences between the other ones. If the regular loan, if you're buying for 350, the loan will be based on 350,000 minus your down payment. But now for the 203K, it will be based on how much money they will give you in total, meaning the purchase price plus the renovation. And when you go towards a regular buying process, we get the contractor to give us some numbers, we get these things, we close the loan, and the renovation starts after the closing. No more than 30 days after you close the loan, the renovations have to start, and the project cannot take more than 6 months.
Okay. Because they give us the money for that.
Yes, they will give you the money. If the budget for renovation is 50,000, there's gonna be $50,000 in an escrow account that is specifically for the purchase, for the renovation. You will have a fee, and then when the work is being done, they will release the money gradually.
Okay. All right then. So now, what type of repairs or improvement are eligible under this loan?
I told you guys he had that question somewhere. So because I knew I already prepared a list of that. So here's some example of what you can do with this 203K loan. You can convert a single family into a duplex, triplex, fourplex, maximum 4 unit, right? Fourplex. Or you can convert the fourplex into a single family home. Let's say you had like a 2-2, you say, you know what, I want to convert this into a single family home, then you can do that. And you can fix issues like if you have termites, you have mold in the house, you have lead basement, which is something like they had in old houses that were built before 1978, and it's known to cause people to have cancer. They can do that. You can do painting, you can do a garage, you can install a septic tank, you can do bathroom renovation, you can do kitchen renovation, you can do walls, and obviously you can add a bedroom, you can add a bathroom, you can add a garage. You can let me save the you cannot for later. I'm gonna tell you what you can do. You can do appliances, you can do your roof, the gutters, plumbing, air conditioning, electrical work. If you already have a pool, you can do repairs to the pool. You can put impact windows and doors, and you can add decks and patios if they meet certain requirements. What you can't do, you cannot use the loan to modify the property for like commercial reasons. Let's say you wanted a spot you can sell stuff, you wanted to create like a little boutique in the house, you cannot use the property for that. You cannot use the loan for that reason. You cannot do fireplace, you cannot do barbecue pits, you cannot use it to purchase like a hot tub on the outside, sauna, spas and stuff like that. You cannot do like a basketball court, a tennis court. You cannot trim trees. You cannot install a swimming pool. There are other loan programs that will allow things like that on the conventional side. There's like Homestyle Reno that will allow things like that. But for the 203K, I just give you what you can and can't do.
Okay. So that's mean when you said I cannot install like a pool, so if I already had the pool, you said I can renovate it.
Yes, if you had the pool, it's cracked or it's old, you need to renovate, you can, but you cannot like install a brand new pool.
Okay. All right then. So do you think I can buy like a car with that loan if I get it?
If you say that again.
No, I said if I get the 203K, right? Do you think I can buy a car with it?
A car?
Yeah.
No. They won't
Only it's for the house.
only only the house.
All right, so
And they have a list like I give like what you can and can't do.
I heard. I just want to
What you can do though, once the property is done and you have equity, later on when you're refinancing, you can take that money and buy the car if you want to.
All right then. So yeah. There was a question in the chat again. So the person said, "Do you have to use the whole 50,000 from the 203K loan?"
I love these questions. So we're not just guessing how much money you're gonna need for the renovation. Before we put the loan in, you're gonna get a contractor to go on site and they're gonna give you a bid, which is like an estimate of how much money it will cost. So we're not just guessing, oh, I think it's gonna cost 50,000 and we do the loan for 50,000. So number one, we already have like pretty solid numbers, but then again, it might end up costing you less. So if it costs you less, they're gonna use the extra amount to pay down the principal balance of the loan.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, if you had like $10,000-$15,000 that's not used, so instead of owing like $400,000, you're gonna owe $390 because they're gonna use that extra money to pay down your principal balance. But the one thing they won't do, they won't really give you the rest of the money to give you in pocket. There are some instances they will, and I'm sure you have a question with that down the line, so I'm gonna just wait.
Well, yeah, you sure?
I'm not sure, but knowing you, probably, yeah.
All right. So, is there a limit to how much can be borrowed or renovated?
Yes.
What is the limit then?
So the limit could be two things. It could be how much you qualify for, or it will be the loan limits to that area. So like I mentioned before, if you are in Dade County, the limits for FHA loan for single family home is about $654,238. So that will be the limit. If it's a duplex, it goes up like all the way to a fourplex, and Dade County will be about $1.2 million. So that will be the limit. It's either that maximum limit or whatever you qualify for.
Okay. All right. So they're not gonna do when you go buy a house, they check all your credit and everything. They're not gonna do that again.
They will.
Okay.
When you are qualifying, you mean?
No, yeah, for you to be qualifying for it.
Yeah, it's just like a regular mortgage. You have to do all the basic things you have to do for a regular FHA loan.
Okay. All right, thanks. So, what are the difference between the standard 203K and the limit 203K?
It's not too big of a difference. I don't want to confuse our audience. I'm just gonna simplify it. Think limited when it's really more cosmetic stuff that needs to be done, and think the standard when you need to do major renovations.
Hmm. Say
Like
that again?
adding a bit. So I would say the limited version is when you want to do simple things. Like the roof will still be included, but you want to do minor things like cosmetic, plumbing, AC, things like that. But you can think about the standard when, let's say, you want to do something big, like add an extra bedroom, add an extra bathroom, convert single family into, a duplex, or like when you have major structural stuff that needs to be done.
Okay. All right, then. So, just while you're talking, and another question popping up. If I got my FHA loan, right, for 30 years, should be, right?
Mhm.
So I converted into 203K FHA, right? So do I still have the same amount of years, like the same years to pay it off, or did it add it to it?
So if let's say you had a FHA loan for 30 years, you had the house for 10 years and you have 20 years left on it, right?
Yeah.
So if you get a brand new loan, you go back to 30 years. And it's not gonna be 20 plus 30 equal 50 years, but you're gonna have a loan for 30 years.
So what about the 10 years already paid off?
Well, here's the thing. The loan amount will be different. So you started your loan, let's say at 300,000. You pay down 10 years, you down to 260,000. So if
Mhm.
you are doing a new loan and you're not adding to the balance, you just start a 30-year loan at 260,000. But the thing is, whenever you are taking out a loan, you're starting the loan you have now, it no longer exists because it will be paid off. You're gonna replace it with a brand new mortgage. Now, we don't only have 30 years mortgage. I'm doing a loan for a client right now. It's just doing a 20-year mortgage. So you can do 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
Okay. All right. So do you see we have to talk about that soon, man. I have to talk. Yeah, order 10. All right. All right, because I'm paying like 30 years alone right now. So I know there is a lot of ways people keep saying online, so how we can do, and we can pay it like twice a month and everything, but I don't know
I'll just
because
say this for our audience, yeah, because they are here with us. So there are loans that don't have what's called a prepayment penalty, meaning that they don't care if you pay the loan off early. So people will
okay.
say, oh, make an extra, one payment, two payment a month. The truth is, the loans that don't have a prepayment penalty, they don't care if you make a $50,000 payment.
Hmm.
They don't care if you pay extra because there's no penalty. You can pay as much as you want. Another thing I would say is, let's say you bought your house 10 years ago, but now you are making so much money that your monthly payment is nothing compared to your income. You're paying only $1,000 a month. And you did this, like that applies to you, huh? Your so let's say your mortgage is like, oh, $1,000, but you're making like $10,000 a month, and you feel like, you know what, even if my mortgage was $3,000, $4,000 right now, it wouldn't bother me. Well, one thing you can do, you can refinance that 30 years mortgage into a 15-year or 10-year mortgage. Your monthly payment is gonna be higher, but you're gonna have, let's say, a lower interest rate, and you're gonna save so much money because when you're paying the loan over 30 years, you're paying 30 years of interest. If you're paying the loan over 15 years, you just cut your interest in half. So the amount of money you're gonna save in the long run will be a lot depending on the loan amount, but it could be in $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 loan. You could save about $200,000, $300,000 in interest by cutting the life of the loan down. And let's say you had a 7% and you're refinancing to like a 5% loan over 15 years, you're gonna have a great deal, even if your monthly payment will be bigger, but you're gonna pay more towards the principal with each payment.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. So let's keep moving. Huh. Let's keep moving. And now, how are contractors chosen and approved for 203K projects?
So the contractors do have to meet some requirements. They have to have been in business for a certain amount of time, and they have to have a certain level of insurance in order to be part of the program. And they have to get some validations. They have to send in some paperwork that need to be evaluated by the lender and approved. But they don't give you contractors. You can choose contractors. You just have to, let them know about the guidelines that they meet these initial requirements, and they would have to submit some paperwork.
Okay. All right. So now, how long does the renovation period usually take?
It cannot take more than 6 months.
Why that?
That's the guidelines, because this is a loan that the person has to occupy the property because it's a primary residence, which is different from construction loans, right? They'll give it to you for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, and then you can extend it. But FHA, they want to make sure that the contractors are working to give people their property, because contractors can take their sweet time, and they want the property. If the project based on the bid is saying that it cannot be done in less than 6 months, the FHA will not approve that 203K loan.
Wow.
So since we are on that topic, because that's where you wanted to go, the work has to start no more than 30 days after we close. And the work cannot stop for more than 30 days consecutively. So they have to work to finish it. Here's one of the beauty in comparison from the FHA 203K loan to, let's say, like a conventional home style reno loan that I was talking about. FHA will allow the client to build what's called reserve funds. So if the work is gonna take 6 months, and then based on the type of work that's been done, the consultant say, hey, the people cannot live in the property because of the type of work that's been done. They don't have to pay the mortgage during that time, even if they already own the home. Now, because they're still in rent, so FHA is all about protecting the borrowers. So they don't want them to be in rent, have to pay their rent, and also have to pay the mortgage. So they will take out of the proceeds of the loan and put 6 months of payments into that loan and allow them, while the construction is being done, they don't have to make a payment. Well, the conventional one is not like that. You still have to make some payments toward the one that's been in construction and still take care of whatever bill you already had.
Okay. All right. Now, what are the upfront costs buyers should be aware of?
It's the same as a regular loan, because most of the funds that involve the extra work or extra features of the 203K, it can be financed into the renovation cost. So like the contractor's money, the consultant, the architects, the permits, all these extra things, it can be financed into the loan. So cost, I say the inspection, the homeowner's inspection, and the appraisal, and your regular closing costs and down payment will be the upfront cost typically seen.
Okay. Right now, so are there any credit score, which is I spoke about like earlier, or down payment requirement people should know about?
Minimum credit score is 580 FICO, but it's very forgiving. If you have somebody who came to the country that don't have a credit history yet, like they don't have a score, they may still be able to qualify using like a different scoring system. If somebody had bankruptcy before, they may still be able to qualify depending on how long the discharge has been. And different credit cycles could be allowed with FHA loans. And if you are two people, one of us has credit, the other one doesn't have credit. Normally, on a normal loan, you will have issues with that. They will try to focus the loan on the person who doesn't have credit, and they will give him the worst credit history. But with the 203K loan, if you have a 700 and I'm doing the loan with you because I have income but I don't have credit, they will just use your credit, which is fantastic.
Okay. That's gonna be the last question for the segment understanding the 203 FHA loan, right? So my question goes like that. Can someone use a 203K loan for investment properties or only primary residences?
Only primary residences.
So that's it. That's when it's limited anyway. You know, it's not unlimited, man. Yeah. All right then. So guys, we already got 2 of our segment touched and done. And thank you for Kirby who have been answering all the questions. Whoever joined us like just a little bit late, you're not too late because we got like another segment coming up. And the first segment we have, it was the opening. We asked some question. We asked him and he did answer them very well. And the segment we just finished right now, it was the understanding the 203K FHA rehab loan, because I know you guys have been working, you guys have been like having mind to get something in this country because we paying rent every day. I remember my father-in-law told me once, and he said, how do you feel having your own money flushing in the toilet, or have the same money, put it somewhere, and tomorrow you got something else from that money? And I didn't understand that question because I didn't know what he meant. But the thing is, with time passed by, and then he come back again and ask me the same question. When I finally got my own house, so I do understand now, because paying rent is good for some people. They don't see the cost, they don't see the money going, like going, not coming back. It's okay for them. And being like taught like you cannot own any house in this country because you're not an American or you're not from that country, you're from Haiti. It's a misconception. That's what we said earlier. But the thing is, I want you to understand that as long as you can, I repeat it again, as long as you can afford it, trust me on that, it's better to buy your own house. Because we touch a point like we can refinance it. Either you pay more than you have to pay on that house, or either you take that money and do something better else or buy another house with it. Because you invest on something, you can get it back. But when you are in like you're just a tenant, you've been living in America for 10, 15, 20 years, paying rent, and the rent it's not the same you used to pay. When you first come to the house you're paying right now, probably it might be like $800 a month. Now it's from 800. It passed from 8 now to 2,000 or probably 3K every month. And when you buy a house, you pay the same 3K for your own. So think about that. So that's why I want you guys to understand the 203K FHA rehab loan is good. Wherever you are, if in your state that's applied or you got it, try to see if you qualify for it. You're a nurse, or you working in a medical field, you're a teacher, you're working in an education field, you are like a lower class or what like they call middle class working. So try to see if you qualify for it. As long as you got your own, it's better than have somebody else home you're sleeping in and they can put you or kick you out anytime they want. So they got the right to do so. All right, so let's move in what they call the mindset shift from renting to owning. All right, guys. So let's go for that, because the thing is, when I first came to America, I rent. I can tell, but I know everybody who came to this country, the first thing you do is renting. And now I got my own house. I sleep in my own house. Now I'm doing my live show, my podcast, and my Black Excellence Talk show. It's in my basement. So you can't tell because you don't know it. But if I was in somebody's house, like paying rent, I couldn't have time to do that, because if I'm doing some noises, like playing some music, probably the other tenant will come to my door and knock it out and said, yo, you make too much noises, you know? Got a party going on. Now I can do whatever I want because I own mine. As long as I don't disturb my neighborhood. And what type of music I can make, what type of noise I can make to disturb the whole neighborhood. I can't do that because I don't have the voice for it. But let's be real. I own my own. I got my own. I can sleep whatever I want. I can let the light up whatever I want. I can take a shower whatever whenever I want. You know? So there is nobody to come and tell me, man, you pay the house for $1,000 a month, and now the bill go more than 1,000. Nobody. I don't have no one to come and tell me that. And everybody who owns a house in America knows what I'm talking about right now. Because if you got people come around, you got friends and family. Trust me on that. If the super not coming to check on how many people get in there, the landlord will come and see and just give you, like, pay you a visit and say, oh, brother, what's up, Cabby? What's up? I just stopped by to see how are you. Since when? Because he knows, and somebody tells him they saw more than 10 people coming around and it's been a week. So they're going to check on you, though. So even I got 50 people coming in my house right now, I have no landlord to come and check on me to pay me no visit. I don't. So that's the power owning a house. Now let's get into it right now to ask some question with the landlord commander or loan commander, how he call himself. All right. So the question coming right now: why do so many people stay renters even when they could qualify to buy?
Haitian or everybody?
Everybody. Come on, man. We saw me right. That's what I said.
I think a lot of people are renters because they think if you need to buy a house, they need 20% down. That's one big issue because people feel like, you know what, saving 20% is a lot. And it is. They don't know about lower down payments. That's one big issue that I find that causes people to stay renters. And when I was able to educate them about, I got a lot of people who call me when they see like advertising that I do on my website about low down payment. They be like, yo, I didn't know that. How can I qualify? And this is how much money I make. And oftentimes they are renting a house for $3,000, $3,500, and their mortgage could be about the same, but they don't know, or they don't know how to build credit. They don't know how much credit they need. They think if their credit is not 700, they cannot buy a house. So I'd say it has a lot to do with just not knowing, just ignorance.
Okay. All right. So we have to educate them.
Yep. That's why we're here.
All right. Now, what are the emotional or psychological barriers that stop people from pursuing ownership?
I think it may have to do with fear. Like if the people are not like a US citizen, they always think like, you know, the moment something goes wrong, they can take my house from me and deport me. So I think that plays a lot into the fear, but people don't understand their rights. Even if you're not a US citizen, there are rights that you have in this country just by living in here, regardless of your immigration status. Like, you know, people who are like, let's say you have a TPS or you have like other status, they think the moment they get into trouble, they get deported. But that's not really how it works. If you have a home, you have homestead exemption, you have like rights that protect you under that mortgage. Even if you can't live in the country, they cannot just take the home from you like that. They have to go through a certain process. They will have to allow you to sell the property, or you can, let's say you don't even live here anymore, you can still have that property and rent, and somebody else is managing the property for you. So people have fear because of this thing. And I feel like this is one of the obstacles, because I have a client, she withdrew some money. She did a cash out and took 200,000 out of her home, and she was going to buy another one. And when the president last year started threatening to send people away, she's like, oh, I'm not going to buy because I think they're going to kick us all out the country because this is not my country and stuff like that. I'm not going to buy. And she's a US citizen. I'm like, hey, that is not how it works. So I feel like then that's somebody who's been living here for 20, 30 years and still think like that. So I think fear is definitely one of the factors here.
So you see, it's not only Haitian has the fear though. So
yeah, but this one was Haitian though. But it's not just Haitian. It's in the Hispanic community, they feel about the same way. But I think Hispanic people are more comfortable in America than Haitians are. They feel more comfortable. They more they feel more comfortable. They feel more at home. They feel more entitled. So I don't think they have that issue a lot.
Facts. So now, so since you said something, I think so earlier you said something about people like buying home back home instead of buying in America. So if we can manage something here while we back home, so why we cannot buy something back home and manage it from here?
I am 100% for the fact that you can buy back home. I just don't understand why you want to rent here and have a house back home that you're not going to live in. It's your vacation home. If you own here, you can own anywhere you want. Own in DR as long as the property makes sense, as long as you know it's an asset to you. But you also have to think about the fact that right now, the current situation of our country, a lot of people who didn't have a home here but went to build a home in Haiti, it's taken. The gangs took it. Now you don't have a home here. In the home you spent years spending money to build in Haiti, now somebody else just took it and you can't even go there.
Yeah, facts. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, cool. All right, let's move forward. Let's move forward. So we talk about a lot of people like having problem buying house from here, or they think they're gonna get deported, even they know they are U.S. citizen. But at the same time, too, I think so. There was one problem in this country when we talk about immigrant. Sorry to use that word, but we all are. If as long as we didn't born here, so we are all people will come from our own and then come to build something over here. But while you were talking about that, and you were saying like people get afraid of, they got fears about it. But now the question here is how we can change the mindset in our community from I can't afford it to how can I make it happen? How we can do that?
Knowledge.
It's vague. I want more explanation about it.
Is it vague? Knowledge.
Of course. Because people say knowledge is power, but knowledge in what?
Well, knowledge, because risk is often attributed to a lack of knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the less your risk factor is, because a risk is when you are unsure of the outcome. You are uncertain of what it can produce. If I know for a fact 2 plus 2 equals 4, there's no risk in me taking a bet on 2 plus 2 equals 4 because I am confident that it equals 4. Just like if I show you in and out that a 2 or 3K loan can build wealth, to me, there's no risk in doing it because I am 100% confident of the fact that they can do what I say. But somebody who doesn't know about it, they may think it's a risk doing the 2 or 3K. Something might go on. But me, it's not a risk for me because my level of knowledge about the product has erased my fears. So I'm confident in it.
Okay.
So
knowledge. Okay. What is about the church people, by example? Because
say that again.
What is about the church people? So we got Christian, and they live here for years, and they can be, and they are qualified for buying house, but fears make not happen. Fears stop them to make that happen. So what is the advice you as a loan commander, as a person who work in the field, what would be your advice about that?
Well, first of all, let's put the loan officer mental down. Let's check that as a Christian. First of all, I got to check that Christianity because God did not give us the spirit of fear, but a spirit of boldness. So you being a Christian and being afraid of this thing, something is already not working because you should have faith to be bold in that. So it's not only financial literacy, just the very basis of Christianity is not based on fear. It's based on faith and being able to have confidence and make things like that happen.
Okay. So that's means for you, you have to get the Christianity check-in.
Yeah, that's the first thing I'd say, because I say that because I see a lot of Christians, especially Haitians, they like afraid of every little thing. They'll see a black cat go somewhere, And then they start like, oh my God, they see like a black butterfly. Oh, you bring death to me. You see a black bird. And then, oh my God, no. Because first of all, that Christianity needs check because people confuse religion with being Christian. And this is not what we're doing. And then as far as the other side of it goes, as a loan officer, I'll go right back to my previous answer. Knowledge.
All
Just
right.
educate them and teach them about the product.
All right, then. So I think so. That's another topic we have to discuss probably next year. So, the title gonna be like, let's check your Christianity. All right, then. So let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. So now, the question is, what will be your advice, okay, to someone who get afraid to take on a mortgage or renovation project?
Simple advice, do research. Second, book an appointment with me and ask as many questions as you have about it. I guarantee you, once you know the questions to your uncertainty, you will feel a lot more confident about moving forward. And if it's because you're not ready, we can get you the path to getting ready. If your credit is not where it needs to be, or you just don't know how to go about it, once you have a blueprint, it will make a lot more sense because there's nothing to be afraid of about buying a house.
Okay, that's good. So now, the last question for that segment is gonna be like, how can couples or family align their goals when it comes to buying their first house, their first one?
First of all, man, when you say couples, just want to make sure that you with somebody that's in it for the long run because buying a house with someone and then now you are tied with this property can be a nasty wrap because you can't refinance. If you buy the house, you married to someone, you buy the house, you can't really refinance without that person having to sign. You can't go behind their back and remove them. So if you guys start having issues, you get in a divorce, then now you're gonna have to split the asset. So it could be a lot. So first of all, you want to make sure that this is not something you take lightly. I know people will just go around and co-sign a car for somebody else. Even a car is really risky, but co-signing and buying a home with somebody else, it's a big financial responsibility. And I urge you to really look into it and decide wisely before you do so.
Yeah.
But besides that, well, if we're gonna be able to make it work, let's collide our resources together to be able to purchase this house because, two better than one.
Of course, definitely. All right, that was the last question about mindset shifted because we've living in a community where a lot of people like they feel afraid of buying their own house. Like I said previously, so it's okay. The same question goes to you today. How do you feel? You got your own money, you flush it in the toilet, not gonna get it back, or you got the same money, put it somewhere, not in a piggy bank, but in a trust fund, or in the stock market, or in a business, and then the same money you get, and you get it back with more interest than you never have before. That money working for you anytime you got a problem, because problem comes and goes. But anytime you got a problem, you got somewhere you can go and check out how much I got, how much I can withdraw for that problem to get resolved. So the same question goes to how would you feel? All right. So just leave a comment and tell me how would you feel. Now let's go for the segment of financial literacy and preparation. Because even the Bible said, Jesus Christ said once, a wise man never start building something without have a plan. I repeat it. A wise man never start build something with no plan. He lay down the plan first. He lay down the plan first and see how much he will need, how he will build it, and after that, he start the build. He start the construction. Why is that? Because he doesn't want to stop somewhere, not having no more money to finish it. Nobody wanted to start putting clothes on, and after that realize you didn't have no top, or the t-shirt you should put it on, you don't have it. You don't know where it is. Or in Creole, we used to say, "Ranger Cabano have a domino Joe," because don't let you fall asleep before you get your bed done. But the thing is, we need a plan and we need preparation. And that's why the segment come in. We said financial literacy. Because one of the problem in America, when we come from back home as an immigrant, we they always taught us like we come into heaven. We can get everything free. And that's why we got most all the immigrant have their pregnancy and they go to the hospital and get the kids and everything because they've been taught healthcare is free. And right now, what's happening for the free healthcare? Everybody get messed up. They've been taught if you come to this country, you got your two piece of plastics, a debit and a credit. You can do whatever you want. But for lack of literacy, like financial literacy, we got problem because when you get a credit or the credit card you get, and you spend more than 3% of what they give you, though, it's gonna be a big problem. Or me as well as an example, like a living experience. I've been through that. I've been through that because I didn't know about financial. I didn't know about how to spend. People always keep telling me it's better to use your debit card instead of credit card. But I was wrong. Let me repeat it again. I was wrong because it's better to use your credit than your debit. Probably you've been taught like me, and somebody else come to you and said, "Don't worry about this guy." He said, "Debit always good," but that's not true. Debit is like you got cash money in your pocket. You buy your stuff, and that goes nowhere. And America is a country where everybody can have something in return, as long as you know how to do it. I remember last time I was talking about people, and then I was talking about with some people, and I tell them, "So let me tell you something. Even the receipt you got from the grocery store," I repeat it. Let me say it again. Even the receipt you got from the grocery store, there is an app on your phone they call Fetch. If you download it, you click on that receipt, they give you points. If you start from January to December, trust me on that. I can send a gift card to Kirby to the loan commander, a $50 to the loan commander. So that means even that small receipt, you scanned it and you got point in return. So that's mean if you use your debit card, it's like you just cash out. You just use your cash money. But if you use your credit, you got something in return. That's the reason come the segment. Financial literacy, and preparation. We need to prepare to get our own home, but we need to be educated financially. All right, brother, let's get into it. What should someone do first before applying for a 203K FHA?
I would say the same thing you should do before applying for any mortgages. Make sure you get your score to the highest it can be, and just check for pre-approval with like a loan officer, maybe somebody like me, or you go to Google somebody like you if you live in a different state, or go to a credit union just to make sure that you can get pre-approved. And sometimes you may have to pay down some debts. Sometimes you may have some collections. And here's one big thing to think about. If you are trying to repair your credit before buying a house, you got to be very careful, because one of the things that you do is you dispute the items in your credit. Well, a lot of times, depending on the loan product you are doing, we cannot do the loan while the item is in dispute. You have to remove it from dispute status. And what end up happening is it drop your score even lower. So a lot of times you might have a better chance if it's like a collection or things like that to try to settle with them instead of going into disputes, because oftentimes we are not able to close the loans with dispute in it. So get your money up, or if you're gonna need down payment assistance, just let your loan officer know beforehand, just so we can check to see what resources may be available to you depending on where you're buying, what your credit score, what the household income is. So get the money, Make sure your income is good. If you're somebody that does overtime, when you're gonna be buying the house, don't slow down on the overtime. Don't take time off. Just try to keep the income consistent so that you can get the most money available to you. And keep your credit. Lock up your scores. Don't open new credit cards. Don't spend on the credit cards. Just try to save and be on a financial lockdown just so you can get the best deal out of this whole thing.
All right, thank you so much. But there is two question which is you already answered them, and only one question, only one answer. But I don't need to repeat this question
That's
again.
what I do, man.
Yo, man, stop bragging, bro. All right. So, are there grant or down payment assistance program that can work with 203K loan?
It doesn't say anything about grants, but down payment assistance cannot be used with the 203K loan. However, you can get seller concession. So if the seller is willing to give you some money back, that's okay. But there's no down payment assistance that can go alongside with the 203K loan. Maybe some grants, because I was looking at the guidelines. It doesn't say grants are not allowed, but down payment assistance, no.
Okay, so that's when there is no down payment assistance.
Nope.
So how can budgeting and financial planning set up for success as a homeowner?
Lifestyle, because sometimes people will, because they qualify for high loan amount, they want to make sure they buy for the most they qualify. That can be a mistake, because remember, when we are qualifying you for the home, we don't check every bill that you have. We only go about what's on your credit report. So if you have like other bills or the responsibilities that are not technically debt, but they say like, you have like your car insurance that's very expensive, we don't take car insurance into accountability. We don't take your light bill, your grocery bills, and all these things. So all these are real expenses that you have every month, but we don't count for that. So you have to be like, this is where a financial planner or, like accountability will come in to be like, you know what, realistically, even if you could buy a house for 500,000, but if you want to maintain your level of your lifestyle, you have to buy at 400, just, so you can have enough leg room to still continue making all these other payments that we are not factoring into the buying process.
Okay. Right. Yep. So now, how can buyers protect themselves from renovation costs overruns?
What do you mean by overrun?
Overrun, so that's mean if I said that amount is for this type of construction, and then the thing is the cost of the construction, it like even go more than what I was expected. So I can get myself protected from that.
Good. So we have what is called like a contingency reserves. Depending when we study the property, we're gonna come up, sometimes we're gonna add an extra 10 to 20% of the renovation cost in there just to cover if something comes in more expensive. I mean, oftentimes in the mortgage industry, we like to overestimate things. We like to estimate on the higher side of things and have the numbers come in lower, so that way we are protecting the client.
Okay, that's good, because what I'm saying, why I'm saying that is because right now, let's take an example about the tariff, right? So the president put tariff on every country which is have a relationship with that country here. But the thing is, even when you go to Home Depot, things you used to buy for $5 now cost almost $10. So sometimes, probably, let's say we have the consultant come around and check and said that's the estimate we can get, and then we get that estimate, the amount of that money, and then after that, when we went to buy something, and then the price we have been told about, and then it's not the same price when we come, because it goes higher now. So I think so that's one of the problems.
That's an excellent scenario, like black excellence, huh?
So like you just said, so you guys do the estimate over that just
But
to
not
protect.
only that, here's another side to what you were saying.
Yeah.
The 203K limited version used to be only $35,000, and now they increase it for $75,000 to account for the fact that everything costs more now. So that's
Yeah.
one thing. Secondly, remember, you have a licensed general contractor who's taking on the project, and they have insurance. So oftentimes when the budget comes in way more than what they took for the job, a lot of times they have to come up with the difference out of pocket.
Yeah,
Builders, if they come in and say this job is for 200 grand, the whole thing is done for 200 grand, they end up costing 250. A lot of times they have to come up with the difference out of pocket through their insurance or their own funds.
So they can re-get that from you, or
Well, this is FHA. They're not gonna play around with this thing where, like, either the amount of work that needed to be done won't be done. But here's the thing. Once they send these bid in, they don't just accept them. They have like a own team that's gonna review this thing to see if these are realistic numbers. So
okay.
there's a very low chance of that happening. But like you said, like if the market just shifts like that, then it's a big problem for everybody. And the renovation numbers will be the least of our worries.
Okay. All right. So I got a question from the chat. They said, what if someone gave you cash, right? What is the best way to deposit the cash to your bank account without getting a red flag or questionable reason from getting bank approval for the house loan?
I love my Asian people, man. You know how many
Yeah.
times I deal with this?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. They're talking about like
I'm
social
doing a loan right now for a client. They are putting
Mhm.
20% down. And then
Mhm.
last minute, well, not really last minute, but we were already in process. They say, hey, I'm getting a gift for $30,000 from my cousin. How do I get it into the transaction? So I get these things like in real life. So,
Yeah, yeah, of course. Because the problem is we in the susu though. We in the susu. So sometimes we
and
get the
guess
money
what?
from the susu. Yeah.
ESO is not legal. We can't really use
That's
that.
what I heard. That's what I heard. That's one of the
It's not
problem I got.
legal. So,
Yeah, that's one
so
of the
here's
problems.
what you can do. Here's what you can do. When you're buying a house, they're gonna ask you for about 2 months bank statements. Sometimes they ask for one, sometimes they ask for two. But over the 2 months period, you're gonna see approximately about 60 to 61 or 62 days of transaction history. Now, we have to make sure that the deposit doesn't show in the last two bank statements. If we have even like let's say we are in November right now and we have your statement from October and September. It's September 3rd, you deposited $20,000, but you only make $4,000 or $5,000 a month. You bet they will ask you where this money came from. You have to better be able to prove it. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to use it. We're going to have issues with that. So one of the best things we can do, one is called seasoning. You can let the money be in the account for 3 months. So if the money is in the account for 3 months, chances are when you pull the two big statements, it's not going to show on there. It's going to already be on there. So they won't see that the money was deposited. Number two, you can do what's called a gift fund. You can have a family member send the money directly into the escrow account for you. So we are under contract, we are buying this house, and you have the title company, and you get a gift certificate. You say, hey, my cousin, my dad is giving me $20,000. They go straight to the bank. Listen, do not have that money sent to your account. Do not have that money sent to
So
your
what should I do then? What should I do then?
You get that money sent directly to the title company.
Oh,
It's a gift fund. Now, FHA waived their rule as of 2023, where you get gifts fund when it's sent to the title company, the donor doesn't have to show their bank statement where it came from. Before they had to show it. Now they don't have to do that because FHA had that rule. They remove it. Conventional doesn't have it. So if Black Excellence is giving me $20,000, it doesn't send it to my bank account. It send it directly to the title company. And we have a gift certificate that says, this is so-and-so. I don't have to pay that money back. This is just my cousin. This is my sister. I'm just gifting her the money to buy a house. I send it straight to the title company. We're good.
okay.
So when you're buying a house, don't do big transactions, sending people money, like big amount of money. Don't deposit big. And I have that a lot. I'm like, hey, listen, do you have any ISO? So I have to ask that because we will just see like $20,000 and I know exactly where it came from. and we're
Sol, yo fè sol, yo gen sol.
gonna sol. So m geta kon sa depi an lè, m toujou m diye, sou mi kon ba presevo a fè m konen depi an lè, ou nou ka jere sa pou pa bay problem.
Yeah. All right, man. So thank you. So guys, I want you guys to know that I wanna say it officially because in our team we got a lot of people, like we got medical people, we got loan officer, like I'm on the live with one right now. So we got also general contractor. Before we go to the next segment, I want you to understand and I want you to know that too. And then before the year end, we're gonna have Rodney Construction live with us too, talking about this thing because there is stuff which is happening right now. I know people don't really understand what is it. So the same way I got my brother come around and talk to you about real estate, how homeowner works or how buying house works. So make it easy for you, like break it down. So we will have Rodney Construction one day come into the show and talk about construction in America. So how you can have construction come around and people will get licensed. It's not like someone who just came and do some work as we used to have it in Haiti. But the thing is, we will have someone who got a license and talk about what is it. The same way we got someone who got a real estate license to talk about what is it, the real stuff. So I want you guys to know in our community, as a Christian, we do have these potentials. And that's the reason we got the show here, to show you inside the church. Even people talk about like Christian or fool, Christian or crazy, but we got potentials in there. Probably your leader might not notice that.
While you say that, Black Excellence, here's one with the 203K. It has to be a licensed contractor. So you cannot go call a handyman to come do the repair. You cannot do the repair yourself. Nah, it has to be a general contractor. Now, the general contractor can go hire other people like subcontractors, like electricians, plumbers, and stuff. But you, as the homeowner, you cannot do the work yourself. You cannot buy the supplies. You cannot do these things. It has to be a general contractor.
Exactly. Great. All right. So thank you so much. But we're gonna talk about Rodney P Construction before the show ends. So let's keep moving. Now, there is one question. Rodney from the chat said, so he said, one question I have a closing date. I have a closing date, but I'm not going through with the deal anymore. Will they give me all my money back?
It depends on what kind of deal it is, man.
What do you mean it's depend? So I got a
FHA. If it's a refinance, you could cancel the deal and be okay because you didn't really have any money down the line. But if you're doing a purchase, the contract, it depends on the terms of the contract. I'm gonna give you some simple scenarios just so you guys can understand. If I'm buying a house, I'm a first-time home buyer and I'm doing like a FHA loan. So typically, I will have about 7 days from the time I go under contract. It's called a right to rescission or cancellation period, meaning for any reason, during that first 7 days, I can cancel. You have a bad dream, say my grandma told me in my dream to not buy this house. You don't have to explain yourself. You can just cancel the deal and move on. After that 7-day period, you better have a really good reason to cancel. It would have to do with you not being able to be approved for the loan. So if you are approved for the loan and you just decide to not move forward, you're going to have issues because the seller can go after that deposit that you put in, which is the escrow deposit. Because when you are buying a house, they ask you to put some money down. They call it escrow deposit. They call it good faith money, meaning that, you know what, I'm serious about buying this house. I'm going to put some skin in the game. I put $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 in escrow. So this money is also here to provide the seller with some guarantee or assurance that we're not just here to waste their time. Because if you decide, keyword being just deciding after the right to rescission period, like Rodney say, I don't want to move forward with the deal, and it's not because you're not qualified, chances are the seller can come after you for what is called liquidated damages. They'll say, you know what, during this time, I could have sold my house already. I'm losing this, I'm missing that, X, Y, and Z, and they can come after that deposit that you have.
Okay. So he said if it's for a new deal, you don't want that deal anymore, you got a new one.
You're gonna have a hard time. It depends on where you are in the process. It depends because there's something called loan commitment period, which is different from the inspection period. So the inspection period is 7 days. The loan commitment period could be about 25 days or 30 days. You say, hey, this is the time you have to get approved for a loan. So if that time hasn't come yet, you may still have a way to get out of it. You can talk to your lender, to your loan officer and the real estate agent to see how you can get out of the deal. But if this loan commitment period pass, now you have a 98% chance of losing that money.
That's kind of hard, man.
Well, it's a contract, man. It can't play games. These are serious stuff. That's why you have to know who you're working with because there's money on the line.
All right. So to close that segment, the financial literacy and preparation, the last question gonna be, what is the best way to build equity fast after buying a home?
203K. Just start with that.
All right. Guys, like I said, I'm trying to divide the show by multiple segments because I want you to get like what is the best for you. Because when I was started, I was trying to give like the whole question, ask the whole question. But the thing is, I'm trying to help people understand what I'm doing right now. It's like I'm trying to make you understand what part and the show was more interested to you. That's why I want you guys to make some comment. If you like the show after that, just give us a text. Text us and said you want that, or if you want me to talk about something else, you can always write it down. Write me on blackexcellence509llc@gmail.com. So that's when you can let me know what I can offer you. Because like I said, as a Christian, we want to prove everybody who said Christianity is like the worst thing. We want to prove to everybody, like, as a Christian, we got potential from our Lord we serve. So Jesus is real, but at the same time, he gave us knowledge to preach to the people the good word and the good work too. You know what I mean? So gospel is not only God is coming, Jesus can save you. Gospel means good news. But if it's a good news, coming here talking about mortgage, how you can buy a house, that's a good news. Talking like how you can get rid of rent, how you can get out of debt, it's good news. It's a gospel anyway. So that's what gospel mean. It doesn't mean only like coming to you and preach you, Jesus Christ is coming soon. Jesus Christ can save you. Everybody knows that already. And the good word said that the whole nature testify God exists. So it's not only talking to you about God, but it's only to help you out. That's why gospel means. And that's what we're doing right now. That's the reason I'm just divide the show with multiple segments to let you understand. Probably one of you was touching by one of the segment I was talking. Probably one of you didn't have no literacy, like financial literacy. You didn't know how to do it. You didn't know how this loan works. Well, that's the reason we come here, just to preach the good news and our own style with the loan commander. Now, let's go. Let's talk about, like, we have been experiencing a lot. Like, we go renting when we first came to America. We went and we pay some amount of money. Even we were sit down and calculating all the money we've been paid to a landlord. We can see, like, we could have buy 2 houses with this kind of money. It's depend of the period of time we've been living in that house, right? But the thing is, that's a real life. That's not something like we created or imagined it. That's the real life. That's the real deal. But the thing is, the impact of that real life experience on us, or we get inspired because you come to this show and we talk about how, as a Christian, as a human being, you can act because you are an immigrant like us. You are in this country, how we can take advantages of that country we live in. Don't waste your time paying people for money you could have saved and buy your own. So we come to try to understand and to explain it to you. So this segment is talk about the real life and inspiration, real life impact and inspiration. So there is some question I'm gonna ask to the loan commander today. So if you got some question as you used to do, just put them in the comment. I will ask him for you too. So right now, let's go deep into it. Do you have any success stories from families who use the 203K loan to transform their lives?
Absolutely.
Just
So
give us one.
I'm doing one right now, which is gonna be a success story, and she's gonna want to turn this property into a assisted living facility. You know, like stuff with like getting people in the home, like it has to do with like medical stuff, right?
Like nursing home, like nursing home.
Yeah, something like that. But it's a little bit different, but something similar
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you were, ALFs are going for like 1 million, $2 million right now. And
Wow.
you can't really just buy one, like, because it has to be approved by the city beforehand, and they cannot have another one next to it. So if you buy a property and you buy it with the 203K, it already had issues and you were able to fix it up. And now not only the house is gonna be worth more, like $500,000 as opposed to the 350 you bought it for, you have 150,000. Now you can cash out. Take maybe like 100 or 75,000. Go buy another one and put this one in business now. Now this is why we call it generational wealth. Now that house can legally become a ALF. And now you're doing business. I know people who make about $16,000, $17,000 a month with their ALFs, right? Because they can take a 5 bedroom, it can take up to 10 or 12 bed. So, and they are charging about maybe $1,500 per client. And now you take the money from the renovation, which is the equity, you go buy another property. So I had one client that did that, and then they are on their like they bought 2 homes, and now they're gonna want to buy another one. So this is like the gift that keep on giving. So 203K, and buying home in general, but the 203K give you a heads up, a head start, because of that equity that you were able to build in the span of a year or so. So you have access to that capital. You can take that money to open the business. You can open a food truck. You can pay for college for a kid. You can buy a business. You can do whatever you want with that money. So this is success story because you were able to just use 3.5%. So you just use $30,000 to $40,000, and then a year later you have access to $100,000.
All right. You said something about ALF. What does that mean, ALF?
Assisted living facility.
Okay, well, I didn't know. I didn't know. You just said it, but I didn't know
The term, yeah.
the term. Yeah. So now, what message would you give to single parent, young couples, or new immigrant considering home ownership?
I would say if you are not able to purchase right now, try to get ready for it. Because it's definitely a great thing when you own a home early. It means you're just gonna build a lot more equity much faster. So this could be used as a way to get into what is called what do we call that? Financial freedom?
Yeah,
A lot
financial freedom.
earlier. Yeah. And I want to emphasize this. It's not just the home buying part, because the home buying is a big piece, but you have other things like, 401k, you have your Roth IRA, you have stocks, you have different other wealth vehicles that can be used. It's not just one thing, but it's a combination of things. So if you are not in the level where you can buy a home right now, either because you're in school, you don't have the income yet, or the credit's not good yet, you can still start building. You can still invest into like stocks to get dividends. You can still get a 401k. You can buy some crypto just so you can put yourself, because you can build wealth through these avenues as well. Or you can use them as a way to save money as you are getting ready to buy a home. But I'd say buying a home is definitely one of the, something on the checklist of building wealth, but it's not the only thing. And if you can't buy a home right now, there's other things you can do.
Okay, that's good.
So
All
the
right.
mindset
Yeah,
is
yeah,
simply
go ahead.
invest. I want you guys to invest. I can't buy a home right now. Fine. What do you need to buy a home? Okay, I need 2 years. I need to have income. Okay, you don't have that, fine. But in the meantime, come to these seminars, learn, read blogs, save some money, invest in other things that you can do. The whole thing is about you making progress, being better 1% every day.
All right, it's good. Now, so that question gonna be so just a little bit funny. So what is the biggest aha moment? What is the biggest aha moment buyers have when they realize they can actually afford it?
A lot of times, people were paying so much money on rent, and then they realize like buying a house will cost maybe a little bit less or just $100 to $200 more for owning their own thing. So I've had people who come from rent 3,800 and their mortgage was 3,850. Well, that's a high moment for them because they thought it would have been like 5,000, but they end up being just a $50 more than what they were getting, and it's only because they had bad credit. So when they fix their credit and could refinance, they could end up paying way less for their mortgage than they were paying for their rent.
Okay. All right, that's good.
Or maybe another haha moment would be, well, it's not as hard as I thought it was.
Okay. That's closed the real life impact and inspiration segment. Now we got two more segment left though. It's like the experts corner and then the closing reflection. But I'm gonna ask you two questions on both. Let's go to the expert corners. That's for you. These questions are for you. It's not for the audience though. It's for you. So the first
I
one
thought
gonna
all
be
the questions were for me, huh?
We was trying to educate our people in our own community. So, you are the expert, so that's been I was using you to educate them, but I think so everybody get educated and they found something very nice. Even me, I did found a lot knowledge from that, which is things I didn't know. And I think so life is a process. It's a working progress. So that's been we always learn something new every day in our lives. So that was for me too, bro. Everything you've been taught us right now, that was so amazing. So now, what inspired you to specialize in helping mostly first time home buyers?
Because when I became a realtor, I had like clients, and then when I would send them to different loan officers to get approved, I don't know if it was because they were busy or I don't know what it was, but the clients were frustrated and I ended up losing a lot of clients because they were not being served, especially if they didn't have the best credits. So they felt neglected and they were never able to buy. So, I was like, enough is enough. And I decided to take matters into my own hand. And then I was able to close the loans with no problem. Until now, I could not figure out, what was the issue. And I've helped people who were telling me they were trying to buy a house for 7, 8, 9 years, and I was able to close them in 3 months. So it made me question, like, yo, what was the issue? So I don't know what it was, but this is the reason I'm doing it, because I try to work with other loan officers, and the results were just not satisfactory. And I decided to take matters into my own hand to educate and really help bridge that gap in finances.
All right, that's good, man. Keep it going. The second question for that segment, it's like uh there are too much question, man. So I wanted to stay all I wanted to say everything tonight, but I realize it's already 7:06. But everybody got family, so I have to send you back to your family. All right, so let me ask you that. What is the most common challenge your client face, and how do you help them overcome it?
The most common the most common
Challenge, yeah.
is credit. For some reason, 85% of my clients' credit's messed up. I don't know if it's because of rising costs in the living, like just the fact that everything is so expensive and they have to rely on their cards, on their credit cards to, to survive. There's a lot of debts on their credit card, and maybe because of just whatever situation is, they have a lot of late payments. So a lot of my clients right now, they have the income, they have the savings, but their credit just not good right now. So I partner with some credit repair companies to help them through the process. And I've seen they've been doing a good job. I got people who come from 500 score to about 700 in a couple months. So I think that's a really good thing for them. And a second portion, of course, is people who maybe have some of the money, but they don't have all the money. And I have different strategies for them. I have a plethora of down payment assistance program that meet different criteria. And also with this current market, I'm able to get these clients working with my realtor partners, getting them a lot of money for not down payment assistance, but seller concession. Seller concession is when you buy in the house and the seller is willing to give you some money back to help towards your down payment. But we just went under contract last week and I was able to secure $16,400 for a client. That's free money. This is not a loan. This is not down payment assistance. This is money that the seller is putting towards the buyer. And the week before that, got 5,000. Before that, about 11,000. So we are in this kind of market that even if the clients don't have the money, they don't have all the money, they are able to still purchase because the sellers are contributing and we are taking advantage of that to turn more people into home buyers. A little bit of statistics, right? Because I'm a geek. I love numbers. So in September, 1.4% of homes in the US, they sold under what they were asking for. So if they're asking for 500,000, they sold for under that. So that's one thing. We have 44% of sellers in South Florida that are willing to give concession, which is give money back to the clients on top of taking a lower price. So they're asking 430. The buyers will come and offer 410 and still ask for 15 to 20 grand and get it. So this is what we call a buyer's market. And this is the time. If you want to buy, if you want to refinance, you want to do it now because I'm looking at the projection for the future of this economy. It doesn't look good. We have a bubble. We have the stock market that's hitting all-time highs. We have inflation that's going up. We have a lot of rate cuts. We have money being injected into the economy. All these things are, bubbling up to making 2026 not being the best because when inflation keep rising and they keep lowering interest rate, they're gonna have to slow down the economy, which means they're gonna have to raise interest rate. When that happens, well, the buyer's market will be gone. So if you want to buy, you still have the time between now and December to still accomplish your dream. You can get into your home. We close deals in 17 to 21 days, 30 days. So you still have time to make that happen because I wouldn't bank on 2026. 2025, I thought was going to be an amazing year for finances. And then the president came in through tariff across the board that really messed up the economic landscape. And the dollar has lost a lot of its value. 10% this year alone and about 25% from 2025 to year. What does that mean? If you have $100, it's worth only about 75%. That's $75. That's the buying power of $100 right now. So it's losing value.
All right. That's so sad, man. That's so sad.
So that was like my little parenthesis because when I'm talking about numbers, I get super excited. So that's me. I'm geeking out right now.
Okay. So I saw you put something on your status today and said because I was talking to my wife and I showed her the post and you said now Florida people rush to New York to buy houses. How do you explain that? Is it
No,
good now?
it's the reverse. It's New York people. It's your people coming here.
Yeah.
Yo, we are full, man. We cannot take it. You guys can stay up there.
I was like, what? I was
So
like,
I
wow,
don't
this
know
guy.
the full story, but it's
Yeah.
because it had something to do with the election and then the
Exactly, the mayor. I know.
yeah, and then he said like there are certain things they cannot do, and a lot of people
That's for
decided, you
sure.
know what, enough is enough, moving to Florida.
All right, that's for sure.
And
All right,
Florida and New York are competitors. So
all right, so let's do the two or three last question for the closing reflection. So one of these is like, what do you want viewers to take away from today's conversation about wealth, faith, and legacy?
I think, as commonly said, faith without action is dead. there's a preacher and also motivational speaker called Eric Thomas. I love when he said that, I can be as religious as I want to be, but I cannot just pray over my car and say, Father, let there be some gas in the car. You still have to go work, you still have to make money in order to purchase it. So a lot of things, and I grew up in that kind of environment where people put 100% emphasis on prayer and zero action. They'll fast for six pour six, and don't go to work and expect to be rich. But it doesn't work like that because God doesn't move like that. You have to sow. You have to reap what you sow. If you don't work, you will not put the sow. If I want you to take away anything, I want you to not only dream big, to dream bold, but have faith that God will make it happen. So when you have big dreams, it only shows that you know the kind of God you serve, because don't put God in your little box. Don't put God in your narrow mind. Open the horizon, because he's a big God. He doesn't do anything small. So think big and see what God will do for you. Build wealth, learn about mortgages, learn about finances, and do not be afraid to take risk. Don't be afraid to take risk. Do calculated things. Learn about it, weigh the pros and cons, but absolutely do not be afraid to take on risk.
Right. Thank you so much, man. So the next question, what does Black excellence mean to you when it comes to financial freedom and ownership?
Are you talking about Black excellence? Or are we talking about Black
I'm
excellence?
talking about general. Yeah, yeah.
Black
For me,
excellence?
it's 509. That's specifically me when I put 509. But when I put Black excellence, is like, if you type Black excellence on Google, you will see
A bunch
everything,
of
because
pages.
that start
Black Wall
with
Street, huh?
the Black Wall Street. Yeah.
So that's why I love your show. It's because it reminds me of that. There was the
Yeah.
Black Wall Street and it was decimated. So my whole dream is for that to be reinstituted with our generation or the next.
We are working on
That's
that.
what it means to me. It means that Black people, we are so much stronger than we think. We are the OGs. I don't care what nobody say, but I feel like we have this inferiority complex because of our history of being in slavery and all these kind of things. But I want you guys to realize that we were enslaved not because we were weak, but because we are Pacific people. Because we are very nice people and we are very Pacific. That's the reason. Maybe a little bit naive too, and because they use our spirituality or our own weakness against us. But I want you guys to understand that you don't have any limits, and people want to make you feel like you are still bound by the color of your skin. But we did have a Black president of one of the most powerful nations in the world. So I feel like there's a lot of boundaries that no longer apply. So the world is yours. Go out there, conquer, and make it happen. And a lot of places you were not able to get to. We had segregation. We had people that fought for that. So I don't think they died for us just to be able to live within these limitations when the world could be yours. So you combine that with faith and go get them.
Right. Yes. Okay. But there is a last thing I want to ask you, bro, because I just implement that in my show. The last show I had with the guy with life insurance, Mark Lawes, and I did that, but I implement that in my show right now. So you're gonna be the second guest I got to do that. It's
Okay.
it's called it's it's called the finishing sentences.
Okay.
So I give you a sentence according to the show, and then you finish it with your own word. It could be one word, it could be 10 or 3 words. It's up to you. If
Okay.
you want me to repeat it again, you just tell me to repeat it again. What I did that, it's like I did it and I ask you to write it down and you send it back to me. Because when I did my what is called the thumbnail, when people
Mhm.
come to the channel, they
Mhm.
see your picture and they see the word next to it. It's
Okay.
like a quote.
Okay.
All
I
right.
understand.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I'm gonna start a sentence and you finish it with your own word. Make sure you write it down. If you don't get it, just ask me to it. I'll send it over to you and you just finish it with your own word and send it back. I can put it on the thumbnail. But I
Okay.
want you to say that live, and then when even I send it back to you, you send it back to me. So it's okay. All right.
All right.
All right, so we've been talking about a lot today, especially about our topic according to 203K loan, FHA loan. So the question is, the sentence is, this 203K loan isn't just a financial tool. It's a faith move because you finish the sentence.
It's a faith move.
Uh-huh.
It's a
Because,
faith
yeah.
because it will build the next generation.
All right, so to make sure you write it down, because I will send the sentence to you and you say what you said. Repeat it again. This 203K loan, it's not just a financial tool. It is a faith move because.
It will build the next generation.
All right, thank you so much. All right, guys, thank you. That was it for today. And I want to give you again the mic to say the last word. And after that, you can go. We will pray. And after the prayer, you can go because I have to thank my sponsors. And then, I know you have to go back to your family, bro. All right. So you got the mic again for your last word. And we pray. And after that, we go.
So I want to thank everyone who took the time to be on here today. I want to thank our host, Black Excellence, who's doing an amazing job, relentless, tireless, consistent, just trying to help our community level up. So more people like him, more power to you. And thank you guys for supporting this channel. I want you guys to go and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If it's your first time, just make sure you subscribe and share this channel with other people. And I want you guys to, again, dream big, live bold as a lion, and the world is yours. There's really nothing you can do. If being rich or getting wealthy is the only thing you want, if this is all that motivates you, trust me, you will get it, because there's nothing that you want you can't actually get. It was a pleasure being here with you guys. I look forward to being on the show in the future. And if you guys have any questions, if you want to know more, if you want to have like a consultation with me to ask questions about mortgages, I cover 4 different states. But even if I'm not in your state and you just have a simple question, I don't mind. I can help you out. You can reach out to Black Excellence. Well, Black Excellence, can I show the contact where they can find me?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see, on social media, you can add me on, I'll tell you right now because I just changed my handle. You can find me on Instagram at Kirby, which is KERBY_MIA. So that stands for Miami. It's Kirby_Miami, or you can put loan_commander. This is where you can find me on IG. If you want to shoot me a text or if you want to call me to put an appointment, the number is 786-657-6458. 786-657-6458. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Black Excellence. I look forward to being with you guys one more time on the show.
All right, thank you, bro, and I really appreciate it, man. So, let's pray, and then after that, I'm gonna let you go to your family, and I have to stay just a little bit more to thank my sponsors for the show. All right, so you can lead us in prayer, bro.
Lord God, we thank you for this evening, how you are allowing us to have a platform, to have our people on here so that we can learn about different ways that we can build wealth, because the gospel, like our brother said earlier, it's not only about preaching the words, but it's also about good news, such as you can break out of poverty, you can break out the mindset of limitation. And this is just one of the many tools that we have. Father, I pray that the resources will be at our disposal and that you will break the limitations in our mind, and that you will show us that only the things that we don't want, we can't have. And with you, God, all things are possible, even if in our family, no one else has ever purchased a home, or that there's all these limitations and curses that may exist. But with you, Lord, you are the curse breaker. And let this be the opening door that a family and a group of families in the next generation can be built, and that they will see the marvelous they will see the marvels of your name. So we thank you. We bless this show. We bless your host, and we bless your people. Let your name be glorified through our actions, and let this channel continue growing, and that we will help more and more families to reach generational wealth. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, bro. Thank you so much for being here, man. I really appreciate it, like you know. And I'm gonna let you go right now to your family, and thank you to your wife and kids who are supporting you, and to give me access to have you on the show. And tell Didi thank you so much, and kiss her for me, man, and kiss the kids. Thank you so much, man. Have a great rest of your day, man, and have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone. See you guys.
Not a problem. Thanks. All right, guys. I wanted to say thank you to my entire people. Thank you to everybody who've been there, and I sent the link to you who was on Facebook. I wanted to say thank you. Thank you to you as well. And I there was a lot of people and here and whoever was there, tout le monde qui était là, moi dis nous merci pour tout bagay net. Et d'après pile t'as bon si t'es tout le monde ça qui là. But the thing, mon aller mon tourner, moi dis nous merci en pile because sans nous même channel là pas sans nous même channel là pas arriver côté besoin arriver à. It's a Black Excellence Talk Show. So nous juste besoin back the proud, the wealth nous tenir avant and pass it on other people, like other generation. So some women back of it. And as a Christian, we talk about wealth, we talk about potentials, we talk about knowledge. So like I said before, when we talk about gospel, on a parlé de l'évangile, l'évangile pas simplement dit mon Jésus-Christ a venu, il pas simplement dit mon Jésus veut sauver, but l'évangile mean you know something and you share it with me. So that's a good news. So, Bible nous était simplement parce que c'est parler monde de Jésus chanter la prière seulement non. Because Jesus Christ pray for the fish and the bread and share it with people. Jesus Christ asked the servant of the century, all right? He asked for the servant of the woman soldier, the woman general to get healed while he was standing where he was. So ça veut dire que c'est pas dit woman faut le sauver, même j'allais te dit et bâti, même j'allais te dit Nicodemus. No. But he just said the word and the servant was healed. So that's been the same thing for you guys. The good word is not only Jesus Christ is coming, God want to save you, know. It's what God have done to me. I want to share it with you. And that can make some come to God and do an experience and feel how God is good. And that's the reason I made the show. Inspired by the Lord to make that show and to have you on that show. I wanted to take Rodney P Construction, n'importe monde qui dans États-Unis, especially in New York. Au besoin d'innovation à carreau, j'en ai parlé là, au besoin on license contractor, on license general contractor. Just allez dans Better Business Bureau, Google it and tap Rodney P Construction. La pour qui prix que bali, qui grade que bali, A+. So that's when you can trust this guy. They are good. They are good. Trust me on that. They are good. So besoin yon bon manger ou dans Orlando, mostly sou dans Sarasota, Florida. Besoin yon bon pâté, yon bon pickles, yon bon piment, yon bon chic taille. Haïtien yon nèg mo kèmè boy wok dur. Nous besoin bon chic taille pour nous boire petit grog nous. Mettez ti ensemble nous dans pain nous, pas négliger contacter Chantal Cuisine LLC 954 381 92 00 954 381 9200 Chantal Cuisine la bon service. Whatever someone deal depose en toi jeune. Peu importe côté dans 50 state whatever you want and Chantal Cuisine can send it to you. So pas négliger avec ça. 1804 une organisation non-profit organization 1804 Haïti 1804 encore qui sont l'autre organisation qui campait derrière nous pour chose ça capable de réussir. Guys, do not neglect. Support it, subscribe, and share it. That's all I ask. All right? So whatever ça nous besoin, écrit dans Black Excellence 509 llc.gmail.com. So whatever ça nous besoin. Just text me on that. Tell me, yo, I wanted you to talk about that. I want to take you to talk about that. But it's always Christ-centered. Always Christ-centered. As a Christian, we always do stuff as a Christ-centered. Christ is always in the middle. All right? So thank you so much, guys, and I really appreciate it. So have a great rest of your day. great week coming up. Pas négliger prier pour semaine là. Et un nouveau mois, un nouveau printemps. Et merci à tout le monde qui t'a souhaité ma happy birthday. And I really appreciate that. So have a great day. May God bless you all. This is your boy, Black Excellence. Peace up. Peace on two. All of you. All right. Bye-bye.